The sun was just beginning to set over the quiet suburban neighborhood, casting long shadows across the neatly trimmed lawns. A young boy, no older than 12, walked down the sidewalk, his backpack slung over one shoulder. His dark skin glowed under the golden light, and his expression was calm, lost in his own thoughts as he made his way home from school. A few houses down, a woman stood by her window, sipping her coffee. She watched him with narrowed eyes, her grip tightening around the mug. She didn't recognize him, had never seen him in this part of the neighborhood before. Her mind jumped to conclusions, as it often did when she saw someone who didn't fit her idea of who belonged. Without thinking, she stepped outside, her voice sharp as she called out, "Hey! What are you doing here?" The boy stopped, turning to look at her with surprise. He blinked, unsure if she was talking to him. "Me?" he asked, pointing to himself. "Yes, you," she snapped, walking closer. "This is a private neighborhood. You shouldn't be wandering around here." The boy frowned, confused. "I live here," he said simply. "Just moved in last week." The woman's lips pressed into a thin line. She didn't believe him. She had lived here for years and knew everyone, or so she thought. "Where's your house, then?" she challenged. He pointed down the street. "The blue one on the corner." She knew that house. It had been empty for months. The idea that this boy, this stranger, lived there now didn't sit right with her. "I think you're lying," she said coldly. "You need to leave before I call the police." The boy's eyes widened. He had heard stories about things like this happening, but he never thought it would happen to him. His stomach twisted with unease. I'm not lying," he said, his voice steady despite the fear creeping in. "My mom works for the FBI. She'll be home soon. You can ask her." The woman scoffed. "Right. An FBI agent's kid?" She pulled out her phone. "We'll see about that." Just as she was about to dial, a sleek black car pulled up to the curb. The door opened, and a tall woman stepped out, her sharp eyes immediately taking in the scene. She wore a professional blazer, her badge clipped to her belt, glinting in the fading sunlight. The boy's face lit up in relief. "Mom!" The woman with the phone froze, her finger hovering over the screen. The FBI agent walked over, her expression unreadable. "Is there a problem here?" she asked, her voice calm but firm. The neighbor's face flushed. She lowered her phone, suddenly unsure of herself. I just didn't recognize him," she stammered. "I thought he didn't belong here." The agent's gaze hardened slightly, but she kept her tone even. "He's my son. We just moved in." She placed a protective hand on her boy's shoulder. "Is there anything else you'd like to ask?" The neighbor swallowed, shaking her head quickly. No. I'm sorry. It was just a misunderstanding." The agent gave a slow nod. "Good. Then we won't have any more misunderstandings in the future, will we?" The message was clear. The neighbor mumbled an apology before retreating back into her house, her face burning with shame. As they walked home, the boy looked up at his mom. Why did she do that? His mother sighed, squeezing his shoulder gently. "Some people judge too quickly, sweetheart. But remember, you don't have to prove anything to anyone. You belong wherever you choose to be." The boy nodded, storing her words in his heart. He knew this wouldn't be the last time something like this happened, but with his mom by his side, he felt a little stronger. Little did they know, this was just the beginning of a story that would change more than one life in that neighborhood. The next morning, the boy walked to school as usual, but the weight of yesterday's encounter still lingered in his chest. He replayed the neighbor's harsh words in his mind, the way she had looked at him, like he didn't belong. His mom's words had comforted him, but doubt still crept in. Would other people think the same way? As he turned the corner, he saw a group of kids from his school gathered near the bus stop. Among them was a girl from his class, bright-eyed and always smiling. She noticed him and waved. "Hey! You're new, right?" He nodded, hesitating for a second before walking over. "Yeah. Just moved here last week." "Cool," she said. "I live a few streets down. My name's—" Before she could finish, another kid, taller and broader, cut in. "Wait, you're the kid Mrs. Wilkins tried to kick out yesterday, aren't you?" The boy froze. How did they know? The taller boy smirked. "My mom heard her talking about it. She said some random kid was sneaking around the neighborhood, and she had to scare him off." The girl's smile faded. "What? That's messed up." The boy's stomach twisted. He didn't want to be known as that kid, the one people thought didn't belong. But before he could respond, the girl crossed her arms. "That's his house now," she said firmly. "And Mrs. Wilkins is always complaining about something. Last month, she yelled at my little brother for stepping on her grass." A few kids chuckled, and the tension eased slightly. The taller boy shrugged, losing interest. The girl turned back to the boy. "Ignore people like that. They're just loud." For the first time since yesterday, he felt a little lighter. Maybe not everyone here would judge him. Meanwhile, back in the neighborhood, the boy's mother was getting ready for work when her phone buzzed. A message from her supervisor: "Need you in early. Briefing at 8. She sighed, glancing at the clock. She'd have to leave before her son got home from school. She scribbled a note and left it on the fridge, had to go in early. Snacks in the pantry. Love you." As she stepped outside, she noticed Mrs. Wilkins across the street, fussing with her garden. The woman stiffened when she saw the agent but quickly looked away, pretending to be absorbed in her roses. The agent considered ignoring her. After all, she had work to do, but something made her pause. She walked over, her badge catching the morning light. Mrs. Wilkins flinched when she saw her approaching. "Can I help you?" she asked, her voice tight. The agent kept her tone neutral. "I just wanted to say good morning. We're neighbors, after all." Mrs. Wilkins blinked, caught off guard. She had expected anger, a confrontation, not politeness. "Oh. Good morning." The agent nodded. "Have a nice day." And with that, she walked away, leaving Mrs. Wilkins staring after her, a strange mix of guilt and confusion settling in her chest. At school, the boy found himself sticking close to the girl from the bus stop during lunch. She introduced him to her friends, and soon, he was laughing at their jokes, the weight from earlier fading. But then, from across the cafeteria, he noticed a teacher watching him, a man with sharp eyes and a stern expression. The teacher leaned over and whispered something to another staff member, glancing in his direction. The boy's smile faltered. Was he imagining things? The girl nudged him. "Hey, you okay?" He forced a nod. "Yeah. Just thought I saw someone staring." She followed his gaze. "Oh, that's Mr. Hargrove. He's kind of intense. But don't worry, he's like that with everyone." The boy hoped she was right. But deep down, he couldn't shake the feeling that this wouldn't be the last time someone looked at him like he didn't belong. The school day ended without incident, but the boy couldn't shake the feeling that Mr. Hargrove's lingering stares meant something more. As he packed up his books, the girl from earlier, now his only real friend in this new place, tapped his shoulder. "Hey, you walk home, right? Mind if I join you? My brother's sick, so my mom can't pick me up today." He nodded, relieved not to be alone. "Sure." They stepped outside, the afternoon sun warming their backs as they walked. She chatted easily about school, her dog, how much she hated math, normal stuff. It helped push the unease from his mind. But as they turned onto their street, they saw Mrs. Wilkins standing near her mailbox, talking to another neighbor. The moment she spotted them, her mouth twisted into a frown. She said something sharp to the woman beside her, who glanced over before quickly walking away. The boy's chest tightened. His new friend noticed. "Ugh, ignore her," she muttered. "She's probably mad 'cause her roses died again." He forced a laugh, but his hands curled into fists inside his pockets. Why couldn't she just leave him alone? At home, his mom was already back, still in her work clothes. She looked tired but smiled when he walked in. "How was school?" "Okay," he said, dropping his backpack. He hesitated. "Some kids heard about what happened yesterday." Her smile faded. She sat down beside him. "What did they say?" He shrugged, picking at a loose thread on the couch. "Just stuff. But this girl stuck up for me." His mom squeezed his shoulder. "Good. Hold on to the people who see you, not just what you look like." He nodded, then bit his lip. "There's this teacher, though. Mr. Hargrove. He kept staring at me like. Like what? Like I did something wrong." His mom's jaw tightened, but her voice stayed calm. "I'll look into it, okay? Sometimes adults forget kids notice more than they think." The next morning, Mrs. Wilkins was outside again, this time with a clipboard. She was going door to door, talking to neighbors with an overly bright smile. When the boy and his mom stepped out, she stiffened but didn't approach them. His mom narrowed her eyes. "Wonder what that's about." At school, Mr. Hargrove called the boy aside before class. "I noticed you've been spending time with Emily," he said, referring to the girl who'd befriended him. The boy blinked. "Yeah?" The teacher leaned in, voice low. "Her parents are very involved here. I'd hate for her to be influenced by the wrong kind of people." The words hit like a slap. Before the boy could respond, the bell rang. Mr. Hargrove straightened. "Think about it." All through class, the boy's mind raced. Was that a threat? When he caught Emily's eye, she grinned and passed him a doodle of their math teacher with frog legs. He smiled back, but it felt shaky. That afternoon, his mom was waiting at the school gates, unusual for her. Her face was stormy. "We're taking a detour," she said. They drove to a small diner instead of heading home. Over milkshakes, she finally spoke. "I called the school today. Asked about Mr. Hargrove." The boy's stomach dropped. "What did they say?" "That he's a valued staff member with high standards." She made air quotes, her voice bitter. Then she sighed. "But if he singles you out again, you tell me immediately. Understood?" He nodded, swirling his straw. "What about Mrs. Wilkins?" "She was talking to everyone but us today." His mom's eyes flashed. "Oh, I know. She's petitioning to increase neighborhood safety." She snorted. Translation: she wants to make sure no one else like us moves in. The boy pushed his milkshake away, suddenly not hungry. "Are we gonna have to move again?" His mom reached across the table, gripping his hand. "No. We're not running. This is our home now too." Her certainty calmed him, but as they drove back, he saw Mrs. Wilkins outside yet again, this time with a police officer, pointing at something down the street. The officer glanced their way as they passed. The boy sank lower in his seat. The sight of Mrs. Wilkins talking to a police officer sent a cold ripple down the boy's spine. His mom's grip on the steering wheel tightened, but she kept driving, her face unreadable. "Was that about us?" the boy asked quietly. His mom exhaled through her nose. "Maybe. But let's not assume. Cops patrol neighborhoods all the time." He knew she was trying to reassure him, but the way the officer had looked at their car didn't feel routine. That evening, Emily texted him, "Did you hear what Mrs. Wilkins is doing?" He typed back, "No. What? 3 bouncing dots appeared, then. She told my mom the neighborhood needs more security BC of suspicious newcomers. My mom said that's BS. But some PPL are agreeing with her. His throat went dry. Before he could reply, another message popped up, don't worry. We got your back. He stared at the words, warmth cutting through the dread. Maybe not everyone here was against them. The next morning, the boy's mom surprised him by walking him to school, something she rarely did because of work. As they passed Mrs. Wilkins' house, the woman was outside again, this time nailing a bright yellow sign to her porch post, neighborhood watch meeting tonight, safety first. His mom stopped walking. Mrs. Wilkins noticed them and froze, hammer still raised. For a long second, no one moved. Then his mom did something unexpected, she smiled. Morning, she said cheerfully, as if they were just friendly neighbors. Sign looks nice. Mrs. Wilkins' mouth opened, then closed. The boy bit back a laugh at her stunned expression. As they walked away, he whispered, "Why'd you do that?" His mom smirked. Throws her off balance. People like her expect anger, it justifies their fear. Kindness? That confuses them. At school, Mr. Hargrove gave him a pop quiz, one no one else received. The questions were absurdly hard, stuff they hadn't even covered. When the boy looked up in confusion, the teacher smiled thinly. Problem? Emily kicked his foot under the desk. When he glanced at her, she subtly slid her quiz toward him. His eyes widened, she was letting him cheat. He shook his head slightly and turned his paper over, leaving it blank. After class, Mr. Hargrove held him back. Disappointing effort, he said, waving the empty quiz. Perhaps this school is too advanced for you. The boy clenched his jaw. You never taught this material. The teacher's smile didn't reach his eyes. Maybe you just weren't paying attention. That afternoon, Emily's mom, a no-nonsense nurse with curly hair like her daughter's, showed up at their door. We need to talk, she said to the boy's mom, holding up a flyer. It advertised the neighborhood watch meeting, with underlined text, discussing recent security threats. Emily peeked from behind her mom, giving the boy a thumbs up. The adults talked in low voices in the kitchen while the kids sat on the porch steps. My mom's pissed, Emily whispered. She says Mrs. Wilkins is basically targeting you guys. The boy picked at the peeling paint on the step. Are people gonna side with her? Some will, Emily admitted. But not us. And not the Garcias, their kid got bullied last year for speaking Spanish at school. They hate this kinda crap. For the first time, the boy realized, this wasn't just about him. Mrs. Wilkins had probably done this to others before. The thought made something harden in his chest. That night, his mom came home from work late, her FBI badge still clipped to her belt. She looked exhausted but determined. Pack an overnight bag, she said. We're staying at a hotel. He sat up straight. Why? What happened? She rubbed her temples. Someone threw a rock through the Garcias window tonight. Left a note about keeping the neighborhood clean. His blood ran cold. Are they okay? Shaken, but fine. She started throwing clothes into a duffel bag. Until we know how far this goes, I'm not risking you being here alone. As they drove away, he saw Mrs. Wilkins' house glowing with light, the neighborhood watch meeting was in full swing. Through the window, he could see her at the head of a table, pointing emphatically at a map. His mom followed his gaze, her knuckles white on the wheel. Don't worry, she said softly. This isn't over. The hotel room was sterile and quiet, the hum of the air conditioner the only sound. The boy sat on the edge of his bed, staring at the muted TV flashing news headlines. His mom was on the phone in the corner, her voice low but sharp. Yes, I want it documented. And I want extra patrols near our house. She paused, listening. No, this isn't just kids being kids. A family was targeted. She hung up and sighed, running a hand through her hair. When she noticed him watching, she forced a smile. Hungry? We can order room service. He shook his head. Are we in danger? His mom sat beside him. I don't think so. But I'd rather be careful. She hesitated. I called Emily's mom. They're okay, just shaken up. The police took a report. The boy picked at the bedspread. Is Mrs. Wilkins behind it? Maybe. But we can't assume without proof. Her phone buzzed, a work alert. She glanced at it, then stood. I need to make one more call. Be right back. As she stepped into the hallway, the boy pulled out his phone. Emily had texted, "Did you guys leave?" He replied, "Yeah. Hotel for now. You okay?" Her response was immediate, "Yeah. Mom's furious. She's making cookies for the Garcias lol. By the way, your teacher's a snake." He frowned. Hargrove? Why? He's at the neighborhood watch meeting right now. The boy's stomach dropped. He quickly typed, "Are you sure?" Emily sent a blurry photo through the Garcias window. A group of people gathered in Mrs. Wilkins' living room. Near the back, Mr. Hargrove's sharp profile was unmistakable. Before he could process it, his mom came back in, her expression grim. Change of plans. We're going to the office tomorrow. I can't leave you alone here. The FBI field office was all glass and steel, agents moving with purpose. His mom handed him a tablet and snacks, pointing to a small break room. Stay here. I've got a briefing, but I'll check on you in an hour. As she walked away, an older agent with salt and pepper hair paused, looking at the boy. You're her kid, huh? The boy nodded. The agent smiled. Your mom's one of the best. You're in good hands. He dropped his voice. Between us? If someone's messing with her family, they're really stupid. The words should have been comforting, but they only made the boy wonder, how far would this go? Back at school the next day, Mr. Hargrove acted like nothing had happened. But Emily wasn't having it. When the teacher turned his back, she slapped a sticky note on the boy's desk, "He's a liar. We got proof." At lunch, she pulled him aside. My mom recorded the whole meeting from our yard. Mrs. Wilkins said they need to preserve the neighborhood's character. And guess who nodded along? The boy's hands curled into fists. What do we do? Emily grinned. We show everyone. That afternoon, his mom picked him up early. We're going home, she said. I've got people watching the house. As they drove, she glanced at him. You're quiet. He hesitated, then showed her Emily's texts. His mom's jaw tightened. I knew he was involved. She pulled over and texted rapidly. Let's see how he likes an FBI background check. When they got home, the neighborhood seemed normal, except for the Garcias boarded-up window. But as they walked inside, the boy froze. Taped to their door was a handwritten note. Know your place. His mom snatched it off with gloved hands, her face like stone. Oh, now it's my business. The note crumpled in his mom's gloved fist, her breathing steady but her eyes burning with a quiet fury the boy had never seen before. She pulled out her phone and took a picture of the note still taped to the door before carefully peeling it off and sealing it in a plastic evidence bag from her work bag. Mom? The boy's voice wavered. Are we calling the police? She slid the bag into her pocket and placed both hands on his shoulders. No. We're calling my team. Inside, she made 2 calls. The first was to her supervisor at the FBI, her tone clipped and professional. The second was to Emily's mom. We need to talk. Bring the recording. Within the hour, Emily and her mother arrived, along with a Hispanic couple the boy recognized as the Garcias, the family whose window had been smashed. The adults gathered around the kitchen table while Emily pulled the boy aside. "Check this out," she whispered, playing a video on her phone. The footage, shaky but clear, showed Mrs. Wilkins standing in her living room addressing a dozen neighbors, including Mr. Hargrove. "We can't let this neighborhood go downhill," Mrs. Wilkins declared. "First it's one family, then suddenly it's a whole different kind of people moving in. We have to act now." The camera panned to show nodding heads, including Mr. Hargrove's. The boy's stomach twisted. "This is proof, right? They can't deny it now." Emily smirked. "Nope. And wait, it gets better." She fast-forwarded to a moment where Mr. Hargrove spoke up. "Sometimes the best way to handle these situations is through unofficial pressure. Make it clear they aren't welcome." A chill ran down the boy's spine. His teacher had encouraged this. In the kitchen, the conversation was heated. "This isn't just harassment, it's a coordinated effort," the boy's mom said, sliding the plastic evidence bag with the note across the table. Mr. Garcia's face darkened. "We've lived here 5 years. This started the day we moved in, just quieter." Emily's mom crossed her arms. "So what do we do? The police took a report about our window, but they acted like it was just kids messing around." The boy's mom tapped the table. "That changes tonight." The next morning, the boy walked into school with Emily, both of them tense but determined. As they passed Mr. Hargrove's classroom, the teacher glared, but then froze. Standing just inside the doorway, arms crossed, was the principal. And beside her? The boy's mom in full FBI gear, badge gleaming. Mr. Hargrove paled. "Can I help you?" The principal's voice was ice. "My office. Now." As they walked away, Emily elbowed the boy, grinning. "Oh, he's so fired." By lunchtime, rumors were flying. Mr. Hargrove got suspended. No, arrested. Someone said the FBI is involved. The truth came out when the principal made an announcement. Mr. Hargrove was on administrative leave pending an investigation into conduct unbecoming of an educator. Emily hooped, earning a glare from a nearby teacher, but the boy noticed something else. Kids who had ignored him before were now looking at him with something like respect. Even a little fear. It should have felt good. It didn't. After school, his mom picked him up in her black SUV. "You okay?" He shrugged. "Everyone's acting weird around me now. Like I'm suddenly important just because you showed up." She sighed. "People respect power, sweetheart. It's not right, but it's how some minds work." As they turned onto their street, they saw a police cruiser parked outside Mrs. Wilkins' house. 2 officers were on her porch, taking notes as she gestured wildly. The boy's mom slowed the car, rolling down her window just enough to hear Mrs. Wilkins shrieking. "This is harassment. I didn't threaten anyone." One of the officers replied, too low to hear, but whatever he said made Mrs. Wilkins go pale. His mom drove on without comment, but her grip on the wheel relaxed just a little. That night, as the boy got ready for bed, his phone buzzed. "Emily. Guess who just resigned from the neighborhood watch?" He smiled for the first time all day. The next morning, the neighborhood felt different. Mrs. Wilkins' house was dark, curtains drawn tight. A "for sale" sign had appeared overnight on her front lawn, slightly crooked as if planted in haste. The boy stopped mid-step on the sidewalk, staring. "She's leaving?" His mom, walking beside him, gave the sign a long look. "Seems that way." There was no triumph in her voice, just quiet observation. Emily came sprinting up behind them, backpack bouncing. "You see that?" My mom says she got a visit from the FBI yesterday. She mimicked an explosion with her hands. Boom. Instant karma. The boy expected to feel relief. Instead, unease prickled his skin. What if the next person who moves in is worse? His mom squeezed his shoulder. Then we handle it. But running away from problems doesn't solve them. She nodded toward the Garcia's house, where Mr. Garcia was repairing the broken window, whistling. Real communities stick together. At school, the halls buzzed about Mr. Hargrove's sudden retirement. A substitute teacher sat at his desk, looking overwhelmed. Emily plopped into her seat with a grin. Told you he was toast. She slid a folded note to the boy. Inside, in messy handwriting. Victory party at my place after school? Mom says we can use the fire pit. He started to nod, then froze. A shadow filled the classroom doorway. Mrs. Wilkins. Her hair was frazzled, her eyes red-rimmed. She stared directly at him. The substitute stood. Can I help you, ma'am? Mrs. Wilkins opened her mouth, then seemed to register the staring students. Her gaze flickered to the boy one last time before she turned and hurried away. Emily grabbed his arm. What was that? The boy's heart pounded. I think, she came to say something to me. His mom was waiting at dismissal, her posture tense. We need to talk. In the car, she handed him a letter, official FBI letterhead, Mrs. Wilkins' name in bold. She filed a complaint against me. Claims I abused my position to harass her. The boy's stomach dropped. Can she do that? Anyone can file a complaint. His mom started the engine. But here's the thing, she dropped it this morning. Voluntarily. Why? A small smile played on his mom's lips. Because her lawyer probably told her she'd lose. And because. She pulled out her phone, showing him an email. The subject line read, offer on your home, full asking price. The boy gasped. Someone bought her house already? Not just someone. His mom put the car in drive. The Garcia's cousins. Family of 5. Moving in next week. For the first time in days, genuine laughter bubbled up in the boy's chest. That evening, as they roasted marshmallows in Emily's backyard, the Garcias joined them, bringing homemade churros. Mr. Garcia clinked his soda can against the boy's mom's. To good neighbors. Emily's mom grinned. And to bad ones, leaving. Laughter filled the firelit circle. The boy watched the flames, realizing something. This wasn't just about surviving here anymore. It was about belonging. Later, as he and his mom walked home under starry skies, she suddenly stopped. Look. On their porch sat a small potted plant, a rosebush seedling. A note taped to it read. For your garden. A.W. The boy and his mom exchanged glances. Mrs. Wilkins' initials. His mom sighed, picking up the plant. People are complicated. They carried it inside, placing it on the windowsill where the morning sun would hit it. Whether it would thrive or wither, the boy couldn't say. But they'd give it a chance. The rosebush sat on their windowsill for a week before the boy's mom finally planted it in their front yard. She didn't say much as she dug the hole, just patted the soil firmly around the roots and nodded to herself. The boy watched from the porch, wondering if Mrs. Wilkins had meant it as an apology, or just one last attempt to prove she wasn't a bad person. Either way, the bush was here now. School settled into a new rhythm. With Mr. Hargrove gone, their new teacher, a young man with a loud laugh who let them work in groups, made the classroom feel lighter. Emily, now his steadfast ally, had somehow convinced half the grade that the boy was basically a spy kid because of his mom's job, which meant he got asked a lot of ridiculous questions about whether the FBI had laser guns. They didn't. He checked. Then, one Saturday morning, moving trucks arrived at Mrs. Wilkins' old house. The boy and Emily sat on the curb, sharing a bag of chips as they watched the new family unpack. 3 kids tumbled out of a minivan, followed by their parents, a tall couple with warm smiles. The youngest, a girl no older than 6, spotted them and waved wildly. "Hi. I'm Lupita. Wanna see my turtle?" Emily grinned. "Obviously." As they followed Lupita to her prized pet, a very grumpy-looking box turtle named Sir Pancakes, the boy overheard the parents introducing themselves to his mom. "We heard about what happened here," the woman said quietly. "Our cousins, the Garcias, they told us. But they also said the good people outnumber the bad." His mom nodded toward where the boy and Emily were crouched, inspecting Sir Pancake's shell. "They do." That afternoon, the boy helped his mom wash her car. As they scrubbed the tires, a familiar sedan rolled past, Mrs. Wilkins, now with out-of-state plates. She didn't look at them. The boy's mom paused, sponge dripping soapy water. For a second, he thought she might wave. She didn't. They went back to washing. At dinner that night, his mom set down her fork. "I've been thinking." "Oh," the boy teased. She flicked a pea at him. "About starting a real neighborhood watch. One that actually keeps people safe, all people." The boy chewed thoughtfully. Emily would join. And the Garcias. And probably Lupita, if we let her bring Sir Pancakes. His mom laughed. Then it's settled. The following month, 3 things happened. The rosebush sprouted its first red bloom. Mr. Garcia helped the boy build a birdhouse, which they nailed to the tree in their front yard. At the first official meeting of the new neighborhood watch, 15 people showed up, including the principal and 2 cops who actually seemed decent. As the boy passed out cookies, store-bought, because Emily's mom had retired from baking activism, his mom stood to speak. "This isn't about suspicion," she said. "It's about looking out for each other. If you see something wrong, say something. If someone's being treated unfairly, stand up. That's all." Afterward, Lupita tugged the boy's sleeve. "Do FBI agents get all the cookies?" He handed her 2. "Only the cool ones." That night, as he got ready for bed, the boy paused at his window. The street was quiet, fireflies flickering under the streetlights. Down the block, he could see Emily's house, the Garcias, Lupita's, all lit up, all safe. His mom leaned in the doorway. "Proud of you, you know." He frowned. "Why? You're the one who scared off Mrs. Wilkins." "No," she walked over, ruffling his hair. "I did my job. But you built something better." He thought about Emily's friendship. The way Mr. Garcia had shown him how to steady the birdhouse with his hands. Lupita's turtle, grumpy but there. Maybe she was right. Epilogue. 2 years later, the boy, now taller, a little wiser, stood in that same yard, adjusting his tie for 8th grade graduation. The rosebush was thriving, the birdhouse occupied by a noisy family of sparrows. Next door, Lupita, now 8 and very sophisticated, presented him with a graduation gift, a new nameplate for Sir Pancake's terrarium, which she'd misspelled as Sir Pancakes, Esquire, Legal Turtle. Down the street, Emily yelled for him to hurry up before they were late. His mom, leaning against the car, smiled. "Ready?" He took one last look at their house, their street, their home, then nodded. "Yeah. Let's go."